Hello guys, I will be covering the stock market for today. My name is Olusanjo Daniel. So let's see what we will be expecting on the stock market. So before we dive in, I want you all to know that this video is brought to you by Invest Social. Invest Social literally is a community whereby a lot of traders, experienced traders, beginners traders, developers, analysts come together to share an idea, to actually, share a setup. They basically, tend to share a strategies, right? So it has a section for forex, crypto, commodities, stocks, trading strategies, meta traders, and also trading education. Basically, it is a community where everybody come to share their ideas, share a setup. So you can actually, become part of this community by visiting the site, which is investsocial.com. Now let's take a look at the important news we will be expecting for today on the stock market. So there are basically three important news that will likely pay out for today. So one of it is, the PPI, core PPI, and we're also going to be expecting the Fed chairman, which is Watch Testify. So basically, he would talk about, the markets, economic reform and everything. We would literally going to listen to him and know if he's going to be hawkish or if he's actually going to be dovish. Now, let's take a look at this PPI. To those of you that do not understand or might want to know what PPI is, so basically, PPI means Producer Price Index. What this does is that, producer price index, that is month on month. What this does is that it measures the price producers charge for their products as to, to compare the changes as to last month. Let's just say, for an example, right? A producer charges about $50, right, for a pair of shoe last month, and this month, same producer now charges about $51 for that same pair of shoe. Now, if you take a look at the amount he charged last month and the amount he charges this month, right, you will see that there is a 2% increase. Now, this is what PPI stands for. So this 2% increase now stands for, percentage, right, is the PPI percentage. So basically, it tends to help us understand how much producers are, charging. So all this has to do with the inflation. Once you want to understand a country's inflation, we tend to measure the PPI. Also, we have the CPI, which we are going to be talking, on our next video or later on. But when you take a look at this PPI, we tend to understand the producer, what they charge. Now, for the core PPI, this core PPI, it's literally exclude food and energies. One of the reasons why is this price fluctuates, right? It's easily fluctuates. So you can see that the energy price can be trading at about $70 per barrel, right? Maybe the crude oil is trading at about $70 per barrel this month. And all of a sudden, in next 1 to 3 weeks, or not even long, you will see that it is now trading at about $150 per barrel. So it jumps, right? So the core PPI, we would want to know, right, what the actual price is, excluding the energy and the food. So this is exactly what the core PPI is literally, talking about. Now let's take a look at Fed chairman Watch Testify. We are literally just going to, listen to what he's actually going to say. I believe he will be covering the economic, he will actually, economic policy. He will likely be touching on interest rates. We will also want to listen to him on what he's actually going to say. Be it is going to be dovish or is going to be hawkish. Now, if he is going to be hawkish, it literally means he tend to increase interest rate. Now, the reason why there is an increase in interest rate is because there is an increase in inflation. The best way to fight inflation is to increase the interest rate. Now, one of the reasons why to increase the interest rate is to make borrowing more expensive, and also make people to also deposit their money in the bank in order for them to get an increase in interest rate. So that will reduce the circulation of the currency, which is also help to reduce inflation. Now, if they intend to be dovish, basically it tends to reduce interest rates. We are definitely going to hear. Now, one of these effects, an increase in interest rates will likely play out is, you know, if there is an increase in interest rates, you will most likely see, bond increase. Bond will definitely increase. Government bond will actually increase. Treasury bill will increase. That will also affect the stock market. But I want you to also know that the the strength of the dollar will also increase. Yes, it will definitely increase. Now, but this will have an effect on the stock market. Basically, they will likely drop. Why? It is very simple. Borrowing becomes much more expensive. So basically, companies will find it difficult to borrow, or they might want to reduce the way they borrow. So this is one of the reasons why it will affect the share price. But if there would be a reduction in interest rates, now companies will easily get access to loan. They will easily, able to go to get a loan to actually invest in their business, which will also increase the share price. So if there's going to be a reduction in interest rate, have it in mind that the dollar itself will reduce, the strength will literally drop, as a lot of people will likely start taking their money out from either the bond markets, treasury market, and also maybe out to other country with a much more higher interest rate. But this there's also a good positive side to this. Basically, the stock market will actually increase. You will see an increase in the stock market. So just have this in mind. Let us just listen to what he's going to say. On my own personal, you just have to hear and see what to say. I've just given you guys what I think will likely play out. If it would likely increase interest rates, or it intend to increase the interest rates in the future, right? Then I believe the dollar will gain strength. I believe the bond market will increase, it will gain, right? I believe the treasury market will increase. Why, Nasdaq 100, the stock market and everything, will likely see a drop. But if it tends to drop the interest rates, I believe the stock market will definitely going to gain so much value. Now, this is what I'll be expecting. Now let's go to our charts. Let's take a look at what Nasdaq 100, US 30, and so on will actually be giving us for the day. Based on this Nasdaq 100, let's start with the trend. Literally, our overall trend on Nasdaq 100 is an uptrend move. Basically, it is in an uptrend move. But when you take a look at what market is doing, we are having a multiple rejection at the zone, whereby whenever market comes to this level, we tend to see a rejection at this level. See right here. Market literally came to this level. We had a rejection. Now it came back to the same level. So with this same level that market has literally dropped to, we are now having a rejection. Reason why we will be anticipating for more movement to the upside. The news today, major news today, can actually change the movement. Well, I think markets will likely tap a level of 29,785. I believe should be able to tap that level, which is 29,785. Let's see it actually tap that level. From currently price of 29,622. Let's see if it can tap it or possibly break above it. If it breaks above it, fine. If it does not do that, then absolutely fine. We will see what market will be doing, right? Now let's take a look at US 30. So basically, markets literally push, literally came to this level, it pushed up, then it dropped back to this same level again, and now it's literally pushed up right here. This is it right here. Markets literally pushed up, right? So it was what we were expecting yesterday. When we did this analysis, we said that once markets drops to this level, we should expect it to push up. Markets, came and it did push up right here. So we will be expecting more push up. Basically, we should be expecting to literally come to a level of 52,736. This is the level I think markets will likely come to, which is a level of 52,736 or maybe 733 is not absolutely a bad level. It's likely going to be a level. Let's go down to our Nvidia stock. So we literally did this analysis yesterday. If you had watched the webinar, right, the prediction we did yesterday, we also predicted this same movement. That when markets literally did give us the pullback, we were expecting it to literally push up. That was our prediction. This was the prediction. It said that markets will literally push up, and it did give us a push up. So you can see that our prediction was very much correct. So now market is trading at a level of 211. I believe it will pull back and then push up again to a level of 214. So basically, my next target on Nvidia stock is around a level of 214 for the day. Let's take a look at our Tesla stock. Let's start with the trend on our daily time frame. You can see the trend on the daily time frame. It is very much ranging in this level. Market is ranging within this level. We once had a rejection, a reaction around this level that made market to push up. The market eventually came back down to tap this level. We had a rejection that made market to bounce up, and market then came back down again to tap this level. We also had a rejection that made market to bounce up, and now market eventually came back down again. So there is kind of like a rejection zone, multiple rejection zone, and we should expect it to literally still push up. So more movement to the upside is literally what we should be expecting on our Tesla stock. Now, see this way, if in case Tesla comes back to tap this level of 391, which I believe it will, let's see if it will come to tap a level of 391, then we should expect it to literally push up. But due to the fact that we are going to be anticipating for some major news, let's see how the news will play out. And let's see what the news will say. This is what the news literally give us. It's what we are going to be predicting for the day. Now let's take a look at our S&P 500. Our trend literally on our S&P 500, which is also known as SPY, is an uptrend move. The overall movement is to the upside. Now, see it this way, guys. If this is your high and this is your higher low, this is also the new higher high, and here comes the equal higher low. Market then did push up to form a new higher high, and then here comes the pullback, which is an higher low. Markets eventually push up again, close to giving us an equal high. So this is one of the reasons why we expect it to literally come to actually give us that equal high, which is around a level of 7,592. So a level of 7,592 is where we'll be expecting US state to actually push up to tap for the day. So literally, if you found today's analysis helpful, the best thing you would want to do, right, is actually to join the Invest Social community, where we share the market news. You tend to learn from experienced traders. You also get to stay updated with the latest market news. We will see you there. You will find the link in our description and also comment section. Goodbye.